Hello, everybody, broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, from two undisclosed locations for reasons of security and therefore insecurity. That's a shout out to my buddy John B. Wells, who I hope to book really soon back onto the program. Hi, everybody. That's Blake Walley. My name's Brian Engelman, and this is the Agree to Disagree show here on the New American Media, because the old American media failed you. The old American media sucks. The old American media is run by the CIA, and they hate you for some reason. I thought our intelligence services were supposed to improve America, increase the purchase power of our dollar, keep our country safe, improve our infrastructure, and make this country awesome. Sadly, all the bad guys seem to have consolidated themselves into the alphabet agencies. But with President Donald John Trump, it seems like for the first week in so many weeks, we're actually looking out for this country again for the first damn time in a long time. And the same day President Trump went to North Carolina, said, we're going to fix this stuff. And bam, look at all the action in a week. If you haven't seen our documentary, it is called Hurricane Helene, Help on the Way. And you can go to the youtube.com/the New American Media page and watch that documentary that Blake Walley filmed and edited and co-starred in and all that jazz. Also go to the Rumble page, the New American Media, and watch Hurricane Helene, Help on the Way. Yeah, the same day President Trump went to North Carolina, then he went to Los Angeles, and he's like, let my water go. And so now they're trying to get the water flowing. They're trying to get people back into their homes. And it's like, holy shit, I forgot what it's like to actually have somebody that gives a damn, has some competence and some stamina in the White House. So, God, it's been a pretty decent week, huh, Blake?
I think it's been a spectacular week. But I notice some people are still complaining like it hasn't been enough, but it's libertarians usually.
Oh, God, they are insufferable. They are so insufferable.
Yeah,
well, Scott Adams, I do listen to his show. I recommend it. It's a pretty interesting one. He often says, he'll cite various polls and various research studies, and he often says 25% of people will get every question wrong on every single poll that's ever taken. 1 in 4 will always be wrong. Rarely are you going to get into the 80% and north category. So it is what it is. But anyway, on today's program, we're going to talk about these following questions. By the way, Blake, do you have the image to pull up? It's a good image. I'm not sure if we can see it. But while you look for that, I'll tell you what some of the topics are. Agree or disagree that senators should be allowed to hide their votes from the public. Do you agree or disagree with that? Also agree or disagree that President Trump should keep Jack Smith's team and his inspector generals. Agree or disagree that Tom Homan needs to do a better job with immigration policing. Agree or disagree that President Trump should apologize for threatening tariffs on Colombia. And agree or disagree that the release of J6 prisoners will lead to more violent incidents. Blake, did you find that image by chance?
Yes, I do. It's kind of put together at the last minute. I don't know if I like the title, but it's best I could do under the time constraints. So
we'll take it.
Trump
FAFO. All right. It's fantastic. So hold on, let's just go full screen. Look at that image. President Trump is acting like a Don. He's governing like a Don, and I'm here for it, and you are here for the Agree to Disagree show. Let's get things started. Fun fact, Blake. It's so funny that intro, and I've been thinking about doing another. Well, I have the idea to do another supercut of that intro with adding like twice as many people because there's been so many good conversations over the past 14 years. But sometimes we talk about John McAfee, like one of the recent episodes, the last one we did. John McAfee back in AI form. We've talked about Joe Biggs and his pardon related to the J6 endeavors. And I'm also interested now in Joel Pollak. I don't know if you saw Joel Pollak, but he's kind of at the center of the Los Angeles situation. He suggested to President Trump during a roundtable that they need to appoint a special master like they did following the 9/11 Commission to track every single dollar that's being allocated so that it isn't looted and money laundered, pirated away like Gavin Newsom, Joe Biden, Barack Hussein Obama, the Democrats seem to love doing. They're experts at stealing money, grifting it, send it to this NGO that funds this politician that gets in an office, and then they fund another NGO, and then they pay for a book deal, and then they give somebody a book deal, and they pass a law. It's all just an orgy. It's all just an oily orgy, reaching and grabbing and sucking and chucking. I said CHUCK. Yeah. I'm trying to ease up on my cussing this year, but Joel Pollak, senior editor of Breitbart, that we filmed there and having that conversation, he's at the center of trying to keep an eye on all the money. And I think President Trump was responsive to that, receptive to it. And he said to Rick Grinnell, like, hey, Rick, that's a good idea. Maybe we should do that. So it's interesting how the movers and shakers that we've talked to over the years have turned into, playmakers of today, right?
Yeah, we're the kingmakers behind the scenes, Brian. I guess we really are. I don't know.
Don't let people find out about us. We fly under the radar. Like, let's just let it be that way. We don't want to pop our heads up too much. Let's just be the quiet puppet masters that Obama always, I've often said, if I could be in the basement in my sweatpants talking to somebody in there, maybe I could serve a third term.
There you go. Hey, I'm in my sweatpants right now.
I'm in my sweatpants too. Woohoo! It's the summer of George. Let's go. Blake, advertise the show that you're going to do tonight since I did that.
Toxically Masculine Tuesday tonight, 9:00 Eastern time. Right. With me and Mike Barra and Trail Boss Steve Doran and Dr. Brooks Agnew. The best round table on the net.
Heck yeah. Awesome. And please check out our episode of Strictly Football with Mike Barra. It's fun. We share a studio and we kind of bounce on each other's shows sometimes. It's really neat. But yeah, we did episode 21 and talking about the Super Bowl, talking about fixed games. Did you have any thoughts on that before we jump into the news, Blake, about the cheats, the Kansas City Cheats in the Philadelphia EGLSES?
Yeah, I did watch the games. I was disappointed, of course. Lost money. Oh, I didn't lose like much money. I only put like 10. I put $10 on Washington to win on the money line. Just not that I thought they would cover, but just I hate the Eagles. I can't bet on them. And then the Chiefs. Yeah, I put $20 on the Bills. It's not too happy about that. Dave Portnoy was freaking out, and I don't blame him. He had a lot of money on that game, and you watch these BS calls. So yeah, there was a few that went really sideways or seemed unusual, and it seems like the NFL is rigged when it wants to be. And I'm not looking forward. I'm looking more forward to the Royal Rumble this weekend than I am with the Super Bowl.
Some people would say that the Royal Rumble is less scripted than the NFL.
It could be.
All right, let's jump into the stories here. We're going to do a different format, and we're going to basically unpack this channel here. This is the New American Media X feed. So many channels, so little time. By the way, however you're watching, however you're viewing this content right now, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, do the hearts, do the likes, do the things, share the thing. Comment. I love your commentary. It takes us off on interesting sidebars, but it really adds a rich tapestry to the show that I personally enjoy. All right, so we're going to kind of just scroll through. Once again, here it is. Hurricane Helene, help on the way. This is the documentary that we made. It's pinned at the top of our X feed. Go watch it. Share it, please. I think it turned out really well. There is our feed. Okay, let's jump right in here. This is going to be our brand new press secretary. Blake, just first off, before we even get started, Caroline Levitt. Compare her to Sideshow Bob, or what was that lady's name? Corinne Jean-Pierre.
Well, yeah, that was awful. So it's got to be just addition by subtraction, no matter what. But I honestly have not really seen Caroline in action yet. So this will probably be my first time seeing her. He's had some interesting people there before. Spicer was pretty good. Huckabee was good. McEnany, I thought was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. Let's give her a chance and see how it goes. But anything's better than that. Or the who was the other?
Patty.
Yeah, Peppermint Patty. She was terrible. She's still doing terrible propaganda for MSNBC.
She failed upward to MSNBC.
Yeah. If you try to tell people, the propaganda, if you can make it, you can have a great career. If you're willing to sell your soul to read the script and appease all your big sponsors, you can do very well. Legacy Media has had a great run for it, but now they're hemorrhaging viewers. CNN's got a major shakeup, so does MSNBC. So looks like their time it's finally caught up to them.
That would be Jen Psaki. I had to look up Peppermint Patty.
Yeah.
Peppermint Patty, press secretary. What's her name? Jen Psaki. She's the circle back girl. Because I ain't no circle back girl. I ain't no circle back girl. All right, let's talk about this here. This is Caroline Levitt discussing the drones over New Jersey. What do we know? President Trump said, I expect we know a lot about the drones, and I'll tell you soon. I'll have my people talk to your people soon. So here we go. Here's the press release.
And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA.
Why didn't they tell us that, Blake?
It seems like they would, I don't know, it's like a social experiment to see how the public would react. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
I just figured they didn't want to panic everybody, even though obviously people were panicking because they get mystery drones. But were they looking for, a nuclear missile that had been dropped off somewhere? I don't know.
All they had to say, Blake, it's just common sense. All you have to say is, we're researching some new technology. You've seen our craft off the shore. The FAA is aware of it. It's approved. This is us. We're deploying some new technology and we're running some tests. That's all you had to say. That's a one sentence. Well, what about this? That's all I have at the time. But those are ours, just so you know. That's all they had to say. Anyway, let's hear her out on the rest of this. Maybe she explains that in the next sentence, and I should have shut up.
For research and various other reasons.
That's a weird phrase.
That's not comforting. I mean, yeah, it's good that they're addressing it, but they're still not they're not assuaging my concerns. Right.
For research and various other reasons. Okay.
Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones.
Flying drones?
Oh, they were just mixing. They're all just playing together, I guess. Like the dog park. It's just the drone park. Sure. Military drones, and then everybody else is jumping in. I'm not buying it. I know.
Hey, wouldn't you watch? You remember those BattleBots shows? Wouldn't you watch Drone Wars?
Oh yeah, I do remember those. I've seen.
That'd be neat. I would watch that.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Drone Wars. But she says Jones, Jones.
Individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time.
Okay, she's nervous as shit. I'm grading her roughly. By the way, when I went to, I'm actually having a hard time grabbing the data off of my phone and dumping it onto my computer. I don't know why Smart Switch isn't working. That's neither here nor there. But I did film the pre-inauguration rally in Washington, D.C., and Elon Musk got up to speak, and he was a stammering, stuttering mess as well. I call it as
well, it's not his, he's a little autistic. He's a super genius. When you got like a million thoughts going through your mind at once, and then you're trying to, speak and slowly, it's hard. You have a disconnect.
Exactly. Well, anyway, this is not a strong launch for her, but I'm willing to Say it's her prima dinero, primo dia. It's her first day. I don't know. Here we go.
Recreational and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy.
Okay, this was not the enemy. So, all right, there's the take. Caroline Levitt announcing the New Jersey drones had received approval by the Biden FAA. So many people fell for this. I mean, people. I guess it's that from what is that from the X-Files, Blake? We want to believe. We want to believe, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to say there. So many people fell for this. I guess we all fell for
maybe
something.
The UFO component, that it's UFOs or it's enemies.
Right.
I would say in the absence of having information, and this is exactly what I called the Department of Corrections in D.C., the D.C. Gulag. I called multiple departments there, and I asked for a press secretary to come on out and address the gaggle of reporters. I said, it's release day. The pardon has gone through. We have a pile of reporters over here asking questions. Nobody's giving them an answer. So in the absence of answers, speculation is running rampant. Can you send somebody down to give us an update on why these people haven't been released yet? Okay, yeah, we'll send somebody down. I said, great. Will that be 5 minutes or 5 hours or 5 days? I'm not really sure, but we'll send somebody right down. They never did. They just placated. But in the absence of information, speculation will always run rampant. So always keep that in mind. All right, Blake, did you hear this one? U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has issued a strong warning on X, suggesting that the U.S. could raise bounties on Taliban leaders if reports of more American hostages in AFG than officially disclosed are verified. This statement follows a recent hostage swap between the U.S. and the Taliban. Secretary Rubio says, just hearing the Taliban is holding more American hostages than has been reported. If this is true, we will have to immediately place a very big bounty on their top leaders, maybe even bigger than the one we had on bin Laden. Blake, does this reek of another false flag? Is this just kind of laying the groundwork so that we can get our asses back in Afghanistan so that we can recapture all of that shit that Biden gave the bad guys? Or do you think this is just, oh my God, Biden left hostages back there? You mean for 4 fucking years, Americans have been behind enemy lines? What do your spidey senses tell you?
Well, this is the first time hearing about it. I was not aware that we had hostages in Afghanistan, so I don't know where they came from. Is this after the botched withdrawal and there were some citizens left over and they're holding them for ransom? Then yes, then we certainly want to get our people back. You would think they would be negotiating. I'm sure there's a happy medium here. But again, Secretary Rubio, this is the worst appointee of the group. I don't trust him. And I think he's way too cozy with the neocons who would love to get into another foreign conflict and would love to just occupy Afghanistan some more and exploit their resources and what have you. So I'm sure that was tough for them to get out of that country where they could have just stayed indefinitely and they could have, made tons of money. So I'm skeptical of that. But yes, we have to do everything we can to get our hostages without getting embroiled in another occupation.
And you've heard how John Bolton has been referred to by President Trump. He's like, I knew he was a madman, crazy, and I worked with it. I knew he was the dumbest guy in the room, but he'd freak everyone out, and I'd come in as the good cop. They said, sir, you're kind of good compared to mustachioed man. And I said, I used it because he's so dumb. So, I mean, like, if you got it, I guess I'm inverted here. I don't know why I had this backwards. How do I?
You were mirrored when you came in, and I was like, something is not right.
Well, it says Cleveland. No, now I'm mirrored.
No,
now I'm back.
That's why you started the show. I changed it for you because I was like, wait a second, like, the flag is backwards, and I can't read your shirt. So I switched it. You didn't notice, but
no, I did not. No, I am focused on piloting the airplane. I'm not really paying attention to the drink service in the back. I apologize. But yeah, I'm just curious about this. This is kind of breaking. This is from, I guess what?
I have a good side and a bad side. So it looks really wonky when I look at it. So I'm like, wait a second. That doesn't look like me. Okay, there we go.
That looks more like me. All right. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on Afghanistan. But I have heard the rumblings, the saber rattling of President Trump saying, I want our stuff back. And allegedly they're saying, nope. You don't tell President Trump no. So now there's an escalation. I want that shit back. We spent enough time. We spent enough money. I don't want to be Team America World Police in any additional places. We have assets. We built a place. We have an airport. We had a presence. We had an agreement with the locals. We're trying to work on things. I don't want to go any more new places, but that's all our infrastructure. That's all of our advanced military weaponry. I don't want to leave it to anybody else. Let's go and collect it peacefully go collect what's ours.
All right.
I hated that Biden did what he did.
Can you click the Grok prompt and see how many people are there?
I'm sorry.
Is that something you can click on, or is that just a screenshot?
That's just a screenshot from Rubio. If you pull up Rubio.
No, don't worry about it. I'm just curious how many there are.
Yeah, me too. But it's a developing story. Okay, we will keep our eyes peeled. Okay, Mila Joy is saying, we just found out that there are American hostages in Afghanistan. Biden never said a word. Democrats never said a word, and they all knew. They all must be prosecuted, Blake. And it's very similar to all these ICE raids. They just had a list of all these rapists and child abusers, these murderers. They had a list. They didn't care. They didn't give a shit about the communities where they dump these monsters to roam and prowl the streets and find American victims to harm. Should there be prosecutions, Blake?
Yeah. I mean, we got to do something about it. Not that we know. We can't just leave our people behind. So, I mean, Afghanistan's not a big threat, but it's complicated. So
it is complicated. Let me show you something else that is complicated. We just uploaded this video yesterday, and I think in the first 20 seconds you'll get the gist of what's going on. This is Tylene Aldridge. She drove from Florida to pick up her J6 prisoner boyfriend, Jeremy Brown. Very interesting case. Let me just show you the beginning of this, because it kind of tells you everything you need to know. Oh, doggone it, except for that 400-ounce solid. Got bar of gold. Here we go. Skip ad. Oh my gosh, I'll skip another ad. Jeez, I normally like ads, but not when I'm trying to play the show. Here we go. Try this again. Hang on here. There we go. So, Blake, that was the moment that she was called by Jeremy Brown, her boyfriend, who was supposed to be leaving that day, and they led him back into the jail cell and said, nope, we're not getting out. They drove up for that. They were told he was leaving, and they didn't let him out. And so that was the next story in the stack, which is why I brought this up, other than I want everyone to go watch that. Yeah, we said that we interviewed Jeremy Brown's girlfriend at the DC Gulag at the exact moment that he called to say that his captors let him, they're supposed to say led. Actually, I can edit that now, right? They led him.
An hour, yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple minutes here, so let me click. It was supposed to be led him back into his cell instead of outside. Where the hell did that go? Oh, it must have went to the
top. I don't know.
They let him back into the cell instead of outside, and they said a mistake had been made. So please help us share this interview. John Strand is saying, oh my God, Jeremy Brown is an Army Special Forces veteran. He did nothing wrong on January 6th, and he never entered the Capitol. But Biden's Department of Justice lied. They assaulted him with an unlawful FBI raid, and he's still a hostage. The Department of Justice is refusing to obey President Trump's pardon. Enough, bring him home now. Free him now. Roger Stone said the continued incarceration of Green Beret Master Sergeant Jeremy Brown, because he refused to be an informant for the FBI on January 6th, is a travesty of justice, Blake. The story goes that when they went on a raid in his home, they found a couple grenades and sawed-off shotguns and some classified documents about Bo Bergdahl. And he said, I was doing research on Bo Bergdahl. This is America, and I have a Second Amendment right. And you planted those grenades. He's like, I was at the January 6th. I didn't go inside. I didn't do anything violent. What are we doing here? And he's been pardoned, but they won't let him free. So it's maybe one of the most unique cases about January 6th that there is. So I don't know. That being said, any thoughts on all of that? I'm not sure how up to date you are on the case, but I tried to give you the quick bullet points there.
Yeah, I've seen him sporadically for like a couple of years that he was inside, but I didn't know all the details. I didn't know they weren't letting him out. But certainly that is a problem. You got an American war hero, a veteran, distinguished, and they're trying to keep him incarcerated. Yeah, they're obviously. I mean, if they're implanting stuff on him, I mean, it's a very vengeful, DOJ or deep state, what have you. So if you weren't going to be an informant for them, they're going to try to ruin your life. So it's good to put a spotlight on that. So,
and I guess he recorded the conversation where they tried to get him to turn state's evidence or federal evidence, whatever, get him to become a snitch.
Okay.
He recorded it and then he released it, and that's when they went after him. So it's like it feels very tit for tat, very vengeful, very vindictive, very targeted, and very, very messed up. I mean, this is a guy that went there. He's distinguished career. He didn't harm anybody. He didn't trespass anywhere, and you still raided his home. And they said that they planted stuff on him. That's what his girlfriend said when I interviewed her. And as we were talking with his mom in the car, it was freezing cold outside. It was like single digits that day. Couldn't feel your fit. She's been out there for hours. She's holding his clothing, like ready to give him his clothes and get him out of there. And then it's like, what? I can't, huh? You're putting me, it's just like, it was just weird that I happened to be there. I happened to talk to her in the middle of the interview. Like, she got that phone call in that moment where it was like, he was told they made a mistake and they handcuffed him again and led him back inside. He was already out of his cell. They were trying to process him out and they put him back in. It's like, my understanding now is that he's in the Grayson County Detention Center. They moved him, and he's in Kentucky now. So it's time to maybe speak with Rand Paul and Thomas Massey. Maybe we can schedule a field trip and see what the hell's going on here. And this is a peaceful person who served his country well, and there were supposed to be pardons for the people that got sucked up in this. And they're playing games. They're saying a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't entirely know what's accurate or not. Maybe there were classified documents. Maybe there were things that he shouldn't have, but we have a Second Amendment right too. Like, if you're not harming people, what's the problem here? So anyway, something to pay attention to. Moving on. Juanita Broderick put out there, she said to everyone about to get fired in DC, learn to code. That's what Joe told the 10,000 pipeline workers that he fired on day one, Blake. I mean, Doge is about to go in there like a wrecking ball, isn't it?
I sure hope so. We'll see what happens. Because Vivek is not in there anymore, so it's just going to be Elon and his team. But yeah, it's good to cut back.
Agreed. Okay. Wall Street Apes reporting multiple development sites in Fort Worth, Texas, Forest Hill are empty with no workers, only supervisor trucks, hiding from ICE raids and Border Patrol. This is where American jobs have gone, completely replaced with cheap, illegal labor. This is my second construction site area I've been to, and there ain't nobody out doing shit. You see two of the trucks down there. I think they're supervisors. Maybe they're trying to verify and see if ICE is going to come out. I ain't never seen it this quiet before. It's crazy. So if this story is true, this is, once again, the Trump effect. This is a net positive for America, right? Maybe these jobs then would go to Americans who are looking for work. You just got to pay them a little bit more, a normal non-slave wage, perhaps.
Yeah, I guess you can see. We'll see how that develops. But yes, interesting to see that and how many legal aliens are actually being employed under the table in this country.
Oh yeah, I've seen reports that show about 95% or more of the jobs have gone to illegals. I don't know how much you can trust any study or survey or report like that, but it's stunning. And I think it might be close to accurate. I think there's a reason they brought 30 million people in here. They want slave wages. And, people that are working, Americans should be working. You want to go build projects and do things in other countries, go do it. Have at it. Jobs Americans won't do. Blake, is there a job you wouldn't do when you were a teenager or in your 20s? I mean, you would do any job that you had to because you did what you needed to. Shovel driveways, just toil over in a 140-degree kitchen in a fast food restaurant. I mean, digging your hands through muck and goop. I used to work at Hardee's, and it had some of the best fried chicken on planet Earth, by the way. But one of my jobs was doing the chicken. And I remember I had to put the gloves on, and I had to put my thumb into like the thighs. So you get the wings, the thighs, the breast, and the thighs. You had to put your thumb in, and you had to push and kind of like scoop up and out with your thumb in this. You'd have to get rid of this thing before you tossed it in the deep fry vat. It was foul. Pardon the pun. It was quite foul. Get it?
Yep.
And I did whatever job. I'd shovel the snow. I'd cook the chicken. Like, there's no job American won't do. Get your ass into work. Did you turn down jobs, Blake? Were you always high and mighty and snooty and turned your nose up at work?
No, I had like 17 different jobs by the time I was like 22 or something. So I had a variety of different things that I tried out. So in multiple different occupations. So yeah, it was interesting. I don't know what to say about that. I worked at Arby's, worked at Subway for a week, worked at Pizza Hut. I did my share of fast food stuff.
You did a tour. You did a tour of the fast food joints. That's fair.
Right.
All right. Let's talk about this one. George Bahisi tweets reporting that chairman of the Federal Maritime Commission just confirmed all of President Trump's allegations against Panama for violating the Canal Treaty. He broke down how China now controls it and why it's vital to the United States that we intervene before it's too late. Here we go.
In closing, the Panama Canal is vital to our economy, with over 75% of its traffic bound for our ports.
Whoa.
Safeguarding the ACP's independence and addressing the challenges posed by the broader government are essential to maintaining U.S. competitiveness in the global economy. I look forward to your question.
So there you go. I mean, people were saying, oh, what's going on with Trump? He wants Greenland. He wants Canada. He wants Panama. Guy's out of control. But like, he's kind of calling it as it is. It's the United States that built the infrastructure in the Panama Canal. When Jimmy Carter foolishly signed it over for $1, there was a provision in there that said, hey, this will never go into foreign interest. It will never go into like enemy hands in the territory, in the management of this. And that's exactly what seems to have happened. They're saying that China's taken it over, and it looks like we're about to take it back. Does that work for you?
That's the way it should be. No business. I mean, it should be part like jointly owned but it has to be in the Americas. For China to have any jurisdiction in the Panama Canal is outrageous to me. No way. So no, they need to get out of there. I don't know how it works, but that's the wildest thing about the whole thing with the Panama Canal is that China in another continent is running it. Get out of here. Crazy.
Agreed. All right. Benny Johnson reporting that earlier this morning in the Bronx, I had the chance to go to for President Trump's speech and report with Jack Posobiec and Real America's Voice earlier this year. I'm sorry, in the middle of last year. ICE has now raided and arrested the Tren de Aragua gang leader who was behind the takeover of the Aurora Apartments, Blake. Look at this, week 1, and we're already going after kingpins. How great is this? And how shitty would it have been to have these idiots trying to get into your neighborhood and run your town? How nice is it to see us going after and scooping these dirtbags up?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it was just such an insult that they were just running around and taking over a building. And then, I don't know if it was the mayor or the governor that just didn't seem to really care. They were more embarrassed that it was, that people found out about it.
Yeah.
It's good that we have real leadership again and to crack down. I mean, it's amazing what they've been accomplishing in just under a week. The last administration did nothing, and they would have still continued to do nothing.
It's not even that they did nothing. That's almost forgivable. It's not, but let's pretend it is. They were counterproductive. They were actively working to sabotage the United States of America. They were actively working to ruin this place. That's what the Obama doctrine was. We need to level the playing field. Americans have had it too good for too long. The dollar should buy less. Energy prices should be higher. Let's take some of these energy prices through the green news scam and let's dump them into some shithole countries. By the way, let's take some of the worst people from these shithole countries and dump them into America. Let's have them rape and abuse and terrorize American residents. It's just like you couldn't have picked a worse administration than Barack Hussein Obama's third term with Biden as the puppet master than we had. And it's just like coming out on the other side, you feel like Shawshank Redemption. Andy Dufresne. He crawled through a river of shit You know, he's crawling on his hands and knees, going through the tunnel. He gets out, rips his shirt off, and he's there in the rain. He's like, I can finally smell fresh air and breathe again. I'm finally out. That's what it feels like to be a part of an administration that cares about this country instead of whatever the hell foreign interest bought and sold Biden's cronies. So I'm happy about it. Allie Beth Stuckey here saying, just a reminder that an illegal alien burned a woman alive on the subway just a few weeks ago. And all your friends crying publicly about deportation said nothing. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that in the stack. I'm just kind of scrolling through. We're moving fast, though. Story after story after story after story. Can you tell I've had my coffee today? Coffee today. I'm trying to move fast for Blake's benefit. Well, for everybody's benefit. But about that, Selena Gomez, did you have thoughts on her crocodile tears? Did you find her to be believable? Do you think it was just someone gave her a script to read? And just the hypocrisy of not doing any live videos to cry about all of the Americans who've been abused by illegal alien invader demons. But she's crying, oh, my people. Oh, your people are rapists? Oh, your people? Your people? Your people are murderers? Your people abuse children? Okay, sweetheart. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, was she like 25? I mean, I don't know what... I don't know what she's really thinking 32. About that. 22?
32 and a billionaire.
Oh, really? Isn't that Bieber's ex-girlfriend or whatever?
Bieber's been around for like 30 years.
Yeah, I guess they're older than I thought they were. And I heard she was like a billionaire. She's got tons of money. I'm blown away because I don't know if I even know her from anything.
On my last show, I'm like, if I were on a game show and they gave me $100 to say, tell me a song that Selena Gomez sang, I'd go,
yeah.
Don't Cry for Me, Argentina or something in some movie about somebody from something. I don't know. Okay, for $200, tell me a movie that she's appeared in. I got nothing. For $300, name a TV show. Holy shit. I have literally no idea who this lady is. I barely remember that she was with Bieber. That's how insignificant, or that's how out of touch I am, Blake. I'm sure that's how they would spin it. I'm the one that's out of touch. I should care, right? I don't know.
There were certain things. I mean, we used to pay attention to that kind of thing, but I don't find her interesting. Yeah, she's kind of cute, but outside of that, I have no interest in her music or movies or any of that stuff. So, good for her. But yeah, she pulled down her video. She was freaking out. Of course, didn't say anything when there was, all the 300-some thousand children that went missing. But no, now she's worried, and there's so many criminals that are in this country. And that's what they're really focusing on. I mean, there are families that are going to be leaving. Wow, we got a light bulb that needs to be replaced too. Okay. Anyway.
Blake's having a flickering thought.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, that looks spooky, huh? Okay.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Like it.
Okay, moving on. Amuse reporting that closed border here. The DEA had known for some time. Here, let's play. The DEA had known for some time that the two illegal alien invaders arrested yesterday in Denver were living there and peddling massive quantities of death, fentanyl. Their illegal status once shielded them, but not anymore. Blake, look, the adults are home. Dad's come home and he's taken off his belt. Here's some more video here from MAGA Voice. This is breaking. DEA has arrested the two illegal aliens and seized 130,000 fentanyl pills. This is huge. Next time someone cries on camera about my people, show them this post. Tens of thousands of lives were saved, Blake. And we said, feels like a death penalty case? How many people would have died from 130,000 death pills? Hashtag defend America. Blake, 130,000 pills of death. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's been an ongoing issue of fentanyl getting trafficked into the States and people getting hooked on that, or just even they're mixing it into other drugs and people are getting hit. It doesn't take much, so that's why it's so dangerous. Mm-hmm. We need to flush that stuff out of this country.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Tim Pool saying, I didn't realize Selena Gomez was friends with so many pedophiles, rapists, and murderers. Good point, Tim. 100,000 likes.
Well, I think Roseanne Barr said something about that underneath that. I think maybe she might have just said the F around, find out. I think she's on there. Or that's just the music industry. I think that's what she said. You can click that. It should be right at the very top. Oh, yeah, there it is. And that's just in the music industry. Yep.
There we go. We'll repost that. I thought she was referring to her Puff Daddy colleagues. Okay. Good call there. All right. So this is from Insurrection Barbie here. You have to show an ID to get back into Palisades communities, but you don't have to show an ID to vote in California. That's normal. Said no one ever. And we replied, this is a reality so absurd, you would think that this is a parody post. California has been backward for far too long. Make California great again. Recall every Democrat. Replace every Democrat with MAGA voices, with common sense plans to improve society, Blake. I mean, you can't get into your neighborhood without an ID, but you're allowed to vote? In what universe is that not anything but mental insane asylum madness that they're doing?
Right. As far as the voting, because then also California took like weeks or a month to finish counting all the votes. And they don't have IDs and there's just no paper trail. You can't really tell what's going on. So they are clearly engaged in some sort of election interference. It doesn't make any sense that you don't have to show ID. And then Gavin Newsom going out of his way to ensure that was going to be the law going forward. So they have their priorities all mixed up down there. But I'm glad that they at least were IDing people to get into the Palisades. Otherwise, there's just looters that are going in there. People are trying to escape. And then you have these awful opportunists going in there trying to exploit the situation to rob people.
Yeah, I can appreciate that you don't want outsiders to go in there and fucking around, digging through the burnt remains and finding safes and finding valuables and just stealing everything. Like, I understand that it's sensitive. Figure it out. Deploy the National Guard and assign every single family that wants one a chaperone. Go to figure it out. Fucking figure it out. This is not rocket science. Send the National Guard right now. Every single home can get a National Guard chaperone. Figure it out. I have no patience for complacency. Yeah, two words were.
It's all good.
Yeah. What is that called? It's not called a palindrome. It's called a tip of my tongue. Anyway, yeah. What did I say? What word am I looking for?
Complacency.
Yeah, I have nothing. I have nothing in me to allow complacency. Figure it out. I want ideas, and I want them now. Okay, this is from real. What is this? Big Fish. This is Matt Taibbi talking to Tucker Carlson. The Team Trump is livid over the assassination attempts. This was the last straw, and they will be very public about it. Here's Matt Taibbi.
Then there's the whole question of the investigation of the Trump assassination incidents. We heard nothing about that. It was the most extraordinary news story that I've ever, apart from the disappearing president and the mysterious nomination and COVID, presidential candidate and ex-president gets shot, and the story's dead within 48 hours. And all you read in the news from the FBI, there were these comments saying that they don't have any motive evidence. We've done 100 interviews, but we don't know anything about why this happened or, what was going on there. Do you believe that? I have a very hard time believing that there's nothing interesting.
He was kind of your classic 20-year-old American kid with no social media presence whatsoever, ever.
Right.
Exactly. And it is a very typical American story where one day you just wake up and decide to die assassinating a presidential candidate for no reason.
Right. It's like
who has
with all of the encrypted stuff that he had with no silverware in his apartment. Okay.
First joint. Yeah.
Your first joint. Yeah.
And then the second one, the Ryan Routh thing, that's not weird at all.
Hey, Frankie, why do you think I'm hitting a bull?
I just flew into Florida last night. I don't think I could have gotten gotten my hands on, a Chinese-made SKS semi-automatic rifle without help. I mean, I don't know. That's being a little conspiratorial, but look, there are a lot of
met with members of Congress. He lived in Ukraine. What? And we know that our intel agencies, working through the Ukrainian intel agencies, have murdered all these people and tried to murder all these people, including some I know personally. And so that's
And I think they put a hit out on Tucker as well, because he had the gall to interview Putin.
that's just a fact. And
Trying to find some common ground, trying to mend the bridge, trying to stem the tide and meet in the middle and olive branch to just find a way to ratchet back this stupid, pointless, unnecessary deep state war with Ukraine and Russia.
he was there with them. But this had nothing to do. And by the way, are those the only 2 attempts on Donald Trump's life, do you think, during this campaign season?
No.
I don't think so.
So
why don't we know more about that?
I don't know why we don't know more about that.
Yeah, right. So, and I've talked to the Trump people and Trump himself, and I'm being sincere. I really don't have a sense of what they think of all of that. I know that in public they haven't been anxious to talk about it at all.
So I've talked to some of them, and I've heard a lot of anger about this.
There should be.
That and I think this is the impetus for these investigations. I think probably the second attempt was the last straw for some of the people on his staff, and it's part of the reason why I think they're going to be very public about this.
It can't come too soon. I really think, and I will say, whatever people watching think of Trump, I know for a dead certain fact that a lot of the people who work for him really like him personally. So I think they are mad about it.
They're very mad about it.
They are very mad about it, Blake, and they should be. I mean, it just feels like the incidents happen, the 2 that we know of, and it's just kind of it. There's really not much more to say about it. You're like, huh? Hey, does that strike you as strange? That the story's just kind of fizzled?
Well, of course it does. They don't want people investigating that, so they want to sweep it under the rug. And he was supposed to die, so they were supposed to take him out, and then it would be all about that. But then when it failed, then they didn't know what to do except try to hide it, which they've done very well. And now that he's in power, so now they can investigate it now.
Yeah. All right, continuing on here, Jack Poso is saying he's being told that the 2 biggest holdouts on RFK are currently Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, the usual suspects. Like, what do you make of this Tulsi Gabbard thing? Do you expect that she's going to be confirmed soon? Or are these swamp creatures? I got to go opposite day, point that direction. But I can't point that direction with a raised arm, or else I'll be accused of things. Oh, no, I can't ever point.
Right. Yeah.
Lindsey Graham, if true, Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell being the 2 biggest thorns in the side of RFK Jr. What do you make of that?
Well, I am not surprised at all. Isn't Mitch McConnell? I thought he was done. I don't know what he's still doing there. When does his term end exactly?
It should have ended yesterday. I don't know.
Right. I thought he was. Yeah, exactly. I thought he was done. His term was over, but yet he's still there. Like, what does he have anything to do with the appointees going forward? Or does he have 2 years left? I don't know. It's a 6-year term. I don't remember when he was last reelected. But
it says, Class 2 Senator. His current term expires January 25. This is January 25. McConnell to step down as the Republican leader in November, and he turned 82. He got in 1985. Are you kidding me? But when is he stepping down? He plans to serve out his Senate term, ending in January 27. Oh my God, get him out of there. Can we recall this clown? 27. They want 2 more years out of this dude.
Okay.
So I don't know. This Tulsi stuff, this RFK Jr. stuff, let's go for it. Let's just get him nominated. Keep it moving. All right, we'll keep it moving here. Matt Van Swole here. Look at this, all of this destruction, this aerial footage. President Trump has signed a new executive order to fast-track the repair of all roads and bridges in western North Carolina. The executive order also demands that FEMA and Secretary of Transportation repair every private bridge that was destroyed. Like, why wasn't this done the moment it happened under Biden?
Because they don't care. So they don't. Obviously, they don't care about the citizens. They care more about Ukraine and illegal immigrants.
And there's photos here. This is video footage. Matt Van Swole saying absolutely massive army of dump trucks in western North Carolina. Where was this for 4 months? And the cavalry has arrived. DC Drano says, I truly believe Biden was torturing North Carolina residents for not voting Democrat. That is insane. This is Luke doing the drone video as well. Donald Trump posted, there's a bright light over the United States of America and indeed the entire world ever since the presidential election of 2024. You felt better, right? You've been able to sleep better and breathe better and little weight. You felt weight off your shoulders. Maybe we're moving in a positive direction now a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The whole vibe, everything's changed. I'm liking it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the rabbit hole here posting about anonymity says, oh, you're posting, what is an alt? An alternate site? Oh, you're posting on an alternate site?
No persona. So if you're using a fake like sock puppet account.
Oh, like cat turd or something. If that
kind of, yeah, but people that we don't know who they are.
And it says, oh,
you could Amuse, you like Amuse a lot. Or some of these people, like Amuse would be an alt, I guess.
Good point. So, oh, you're posting on an alt account? Why don't you use your real photo and name so I can call your employer and get you fired for disagreeing with my retarded worldviews?
Right, so the rabbit hole is an alt. So people are like, oh, who are you? Why should we take you seriously? That's because one of these crazy leftists is going to try to dox you and destroy your life.
Yeah, because you want to be left alone. All right, here's Thomas Massey talking about plainclothes Capitol Police officer who found one of the planted non-working pipe bombs. Where's the update on this damn story? It's been 4 years.
You recently met with Capitol Police.
Correct. Today.
And what did you learn in that meeting?
I learned that backpack guy, January 6th backpack guy, not to be confused with January 5th backpack person.
Oh, so many backpack people.
Backpack guy was a...
I want my baby back. Backpack.
Non-uniform, plain clothes police officer in the employ of the Capitol Hill Police.
The person who found the pipe bomb, the person who D'Antuono, who was leading the investigation, say, oh yeah, the person who found it, it'd be investigation 101 that they would be a suspect initially until ruled out. You're saying that person was an undercover, plainclothes Capitol Police officer, and the Capitol Police confirmed that to you today?
They confirmed that to me today, yes.
How convenient, Blake. It's like the arsonist who stands by and they get on the interview. They get on Channel 5 News giving an interview about it. They like to watch their work. Sounds suspicious to you?
I don't know. That was like an old video from like a year or two ago, I thought. So I don't know. They still don't have any idea who the actual pipe bomber was. It's just the guy who found it was an undercover police officer. I don't know.
Weird.
So, by the way,
what does that mean to you?
Well, it heightens some of my concerns and reduces some of the other concerns. Okay.
It's
one of the concerns that's heightened was, trying to give the Secret Service and the Metro Police Department the benefit of the doubt when they took 4 minutes. They finished their lunch before they went and dealt with this pipe bomb. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt and think that, well, if it's just
they finished their lunch.
Random passerby and he said, hey, there's something shiny over there. Could be a lawn sprinkler, not sure. Maybe want to check it out. But that's not what it was. It was a person who was, they say, again, when I relate this to you, I'm relating what the Capitol Police have told me. They say it was a Capitol Police officer who found this bomb and that he told them it was a bomb. He radioed it in, said, We've got the device. We found another device. Remember, here's the other just amazing timing, is that the first pipe bomb, the one at the Capitol Hill Club, now they call it the RNC pipe bomb, but they really should be calling it the Capitol Hill pipe bomb. I mean, the two buildings are next to each other, but it was like...
The Capitol Hill Club, which is an entity where Republican members of Congress socialize and fundraise.
Right. the reason I'm making that distinction is Darren Beatty, who's done amazing work on this. Okay, he's the guy who's said, hey, you should be asking some of these questions. And I said, you know what, you're right. I will be asking those questions. He points out that the RNC-DNC narrative was made up after the fact. You know, it was really the Capitol Hill Club DNC narrative that they should be talking about, but it just sounds a lot better that, oh, we knew to go look at the DNC once we found one at the RNC.
Interesting.
Well, if you thought somebody was going to blow up the RNC, and don't they hate Republicans? Why would they also want to blow up? Anyways, so, you know, they come down, this plainclothes police officer who had been in the vicinity of that one, they had just found that. The timing is remarkable because it was found 5 minutes before the breach of the bicycle racks at the perimeter of the Capitol. Just a miraculous timing that, you know, would have provided exactly the right timing to distract after sitting in an alley for 17 hours.
Yeah, Blake, this was a diversion. It was either a diversion to pull enough people away to make it easier to breach the other side, or if it was functional, it was supposed to be the chaos that they were going to use to claim that Trump supporters are attacking that day. So I don't know. It's a 15-minute video. We can unpack it later, but just 4 years later, we're still asking these same basic questions about the pipe bomb, Blake. I do find it interesting, but we can move on.
Right.
All right. Here we go. This is one of the topics. Insurrection Barbie saying voting for Tulsi Gabbard in secret is outrageous. It's a complete slap in the face of the American people. If Republicans want to go down this path, they're going to enrage the voters who only gave them the majority to help Trump. It's like they want to lose in the midterms. They just can't help it. Call your senators. Republicans voted on the record for every one of Joe Biden's disastrous nominees. Their inability to do one basic, simple task, which is get Donald Trump his cabinet after he won a landslide victory, will be the reason why they lose the majority in 2026. So she continues, dear GOP, secret votes are for corrupt politicians. This is a bad look. Why would you do a secret vote for Tulsi Gabbard? And Charlie Kirk saying he's being told that the vote for Tulsi will be done privately in a skiff. With the vote tallies kept secret from the American people, it's outrageous and wrong, and the American people deserve to know their senators' vote on Trump's nominees. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that was actually one of the issues that I had in this stack. So, the Senate Intel panel reportedly considering hiding their votes on Tulsi Gabbard from the American people. So, so there it is. So should they be allowed? Absolutely not. They are accountable to the American people that put them there. They are getting paid with our tax dollars, and we have every right to know what they are voting for in our best interests or not. Otherwise, they're being cowardly. They should be explaining it. So they just want to, hide out in secrecy so they don't have to deal with any retaliation from angry people. Well, that's how this country works. So if they want to vote against Tulsi, then I want a good reason why. You don't get to take the chicken shit way out.
Agreed. Clip that one out. Use that as a short. I like that. Yeah, based Mike Lee saying that Tulsi Gabbard vote needs to be public. Her nomination isn't classified, and the vote on her nomination shouldn't be treated as if it were. I mean, look, in our daily dose of comedic CNN stuff, here's just, I did not mean to go full screen here. Superstar Scott Jennings does it again.
Everything, by your logic, if you apply it to the last administration, which I don't think is the case, then if Joe Biden wanted to go after Donald Trump because he wanted to go, the Attorney General should be able to do it, and there was no.
They did go after Donald Trump because Joe Biden didn't want to do it.
He had a special prosecutor. He had
But at the order.
But then
of the
why is it wrong? Everything.
I mean, these people are completely tone deaf, Blaze. They're kind of like, oh well, he's like, that's exactly what Biden did. She's like, no, it was a special prosecutor. He's like, Biden sicked a special prosecutor on him. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, it's good that there's finally some pushback. People need to hear that. And Scott Jennings is doing a great job there.
He is. And I don't know if you had anything specific about the Inspector General story and Jack Smith's case there. I mean, but why would you allow anybody to sit in the office if they're snakes in the grass? If they're known plants from people that were trying to destroy you, to frame you, defraud you, ruin your political career and your personal life and throw you in a cage for the rest of your life where you were going to be Epsteined for sure. Why would you let any of these dirtbags stick around? Who is it that says you're not allowed to fire these people? Obama did it when he was in office.
Right. So I don't know why anyone would act surprised about this. So the acting attorney general, James McHenry, said Jack Smith's prosecutors and aides cannot be trusted, so we terminated more than a dozen of them. So yes, he was the special counsel, and they went after Trump pretty hard, including having the raid on Mar-a-Lago, which could have been catastrophic and people could have lost lives. It was
because in the raid it authorized what?
Well, they're just looking for classified docs. We don't know exactly what they were. That they weren't secure enough. They made efforts to give it back if they weren't supposed to have them. They didn't need to raid. They didn't need to go after that. And then they made this whole setup. And they could have had a gunfight between.
Yes, in that raid, they were authorized to use lethal force.
Right.
Why would you be authorized to use lethal force against President Donald Trump? To go in and ransack his private home and sniff around in Melania's underwear drawer to frame him. Are you kidding me? Those people need to be investigated and thrown in jail for what they did to try to frame Trump. You shouldn't keep them on. You fire every one of those dirtbags. That's a day one thing. I'm surprised it took a week.
Yeah, I would. I'd be fine with that. He did fire 17 inspector generals. I mean, I'm not really sure where to sit on that. Saying that I do believe in independent oversight, but maybe some of these people were compromised, kind of like they have, fact checkers that are supposed to be independent, but they're actually not. So I'm, all for making some changes, but we'll see on that one. Jack Smith people, that should be no surprise to anybody. So that was a lawfare targeting, trying to destroy Trump. So, sorry guys, you're done.
Yeah, adios. Speaking of done,
consequences.
Over here on the border, there have been shots fired at Border Patrol, and it looks like we're about to go to war with the cartels. This feels absolutely imminent, Blake. It seems like this immigration story with Tom Homan. I mean, it's going into the cities. It's going in it's going everywhere. And it's definitely going to be headquartered at these borders. And they're getting shot at now. And Blake, do you see any way that we avoid a hot war to go into these areas of Mexico around the border to go after the cartel members that are attacking the United States right now? And we've been under attack for a long time. This has been going on for a long time. How do you expect it to play out with Tom Homan? And do you think he needs to do a better job with immigration policing? Would you agree or disagree that Tom Homan should do a better job?
No, I think this has been an incredible week. They're doing exactly what they were saying they were going to do. And there's been dramatic improvements in the last, 6-7 days. So there's just arrests going on all over the place. In fact, I have a whole ton of different articles on that.
Yeah. Do you want to do a screen share? Grab the screen.
Yeah. Why don't I do that?
Perfect. Here, let's do this one.
There we go. Okay, ICE immigration enforcement operations. What to know? They're targeting enforcement operations involve planned arrests of known criminal aliens who threaten national security or public safety. So yes, there's just showing all the different cities, even in these supposedly sanctuary places, Chicago, Denver, Houston, Newark, LA, other arrests going on. Let's take a look. Border Czar Tom Homan declaring war on terrorist cartels following the Rio Grande firefight involving Border Patrol agents. Now, nobody was hurt in this. I don't know if the cartels are going to want to get involved because we have already, they've already been labeled terrorists. They are going to be outgunned by the U.S. military. I think that would be a very bad idea for them. This has gone on too long, and Border Czar Tom Homan has announced a major escalation against the Mexican drug cartels and vowing to wipe them off the face of the earth. So I think that would be a... So I really don't expect anything major. I don't expect them to go to war with us.
Really? I do.
Maybe in some very isolated spots, but I think that that could be very bad. So
it will be for them.
Right. But not when you have the full force of the U.S. military. You're going to have problems. So might be time for them to back off. What else we have? The makeshift nightclub. This is in Colorado. Nabs 50 of these Tren de Aragua gang members. So there's they have a big bus they just pulled in to load everybody up into.
By the way, Blake, I am now in a makeshift nightclub. If you didn't notice my background change.
Ah, cool. Oh, you're stealing mine.
I'm Cuatro de Aragua.
Nice. All right. Well, yes, there's a lot of people. It's like a most wanted list. They're just going down and taking these guys out. Border Czar Tom Homan promising daily deportation flights targeting all illegal immigrants in the U.S.
Daily.
Emphasize the need for congressional funding to sustain and expand the mission. We're targeting criminal offenders first, but asserts that all undocumented immigrants are subject to removal. That action includes sensitive locations such as schools, hospitals, and churches. There are no safe spaces. He defended the crackdown as essential to national security. There's human trafficking, drug smuggling, violent crime. He's put all the illegal aliens off of notice. Or on notice. Even DHS Secretary Kristi Noem has joined ICE, U.S. Marshals, and the New York Police Department's special ops and raids on dangerous criminal aliens in New York City. So that's happening there. Guess we already talked about weeping billionaire Selena Gomez.
But if you had any additional takes on it, I'm all ears. There's a lot to unpack. Like it's so. We didn't play the clip. Feel free to play that clip just so we can remind. She's a terrible actress. This does not feel legitimate. It's whatever. It just feels completely astroturf.
All right. Well, James Woods here pointing out 350,000 missing children. Did anybody on the left start sobbing for them? No. But they're taking out these violent criminals, and all of a sudden they're freaking out. So we'll check out this clip. Here it goes. She already pulled it, but the internet lives forever.
The internet's forever.
I just want to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked.
Let my people go.
I think she did multiple takes on this. It does not feel natural at all.
I just wanted to say.
I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything. I promise.
What? They're not even supposed to be here. But I mean, if you want to, they're just making a point. Like, you got a huge property portfolio. You could shelter your illegal aliens there if you really cared so much. She's got properties. Let's see, in Calabasas, Tarzana, Fort Worth, Texas, Beverly Hills. Yeah, she's got properties everywhere. If she really cared that much, she could let them in. Yeah, that's amazing. She's officially a billionaire, worth $1.3 billion. I guess most of it was from her beauty stuff. So the brand deals, the music's only $85 million, the acting's only $26 million. But it's really, I didn't know she sold beauty products. But
that acting seems highly inflated based on what I just saw. Wow, is she overpaid? Right.
Yeah, so that is just a little side hustle for her, and she's not that good at it. But, okay, going back to...
Oh, by the way, before you get to the border, let me just address the comment. Frankie said, LOL, because I said, what do you mean I'm hitting your bowl? Like, yeah, maybe your cereal bowl for the morning shows. She said, LOL, just kidding. I've been listening to the morning shows also. Great job, Brian. Thank you, Frankie. Appreciate you. Yeah, maybe hitting the cereal bowls. Morning shows are fun. These are fun. It's all fun. I just like talking about what's happening in the world. Thank you, Frank.
Brian just can't get enough. How many shows are you doing a week now, Brian?
1 million shows.
How many hours? Huh?
Blake, I did. Yeah, I did. I know. I don't know. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling something, and I'm just running with it. I don't know exactly how it plays out, but I'm just running as fast as I can right now. But I've noticed that if we do 2 agree to disagrees a week, if I do a daily show Monday through Friday, in 2 weeks I've done more shows than the entire month of agree to disagree if I just stick to it. I'm like, oh. So I'm starting to add them up. I put them all in folders. I'm like, man, I've done a lot of shows this month so far, and there's still days left in the month. So I don't know. It's kind of fun. I think I discovered that the Instagram feed for the New American Media is chock full of awesome shit, but I didn't know if it was reaching enough people. So I'm like, I bet if I just scroll through what's happening there, I'll tell you what, it is great. I love the stuff that's coming out that way, and I love the stuff that we put out on X. But that's why I always tell people, we put different shit on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram, Meta, Telegram, Signal. We're all over the place with different content. So just follow us in all the places and contribute. So thanks, Frankie. Appreciate that. All right, back to the border reporter. That rhymes.
Yeah, border reporter has never seen anything like this before. The previously wide open border was by choice.
Okay.
Fox News reporter Bill Milligan publishing a post outlining how he has never seen anything like what is happening at the border since President Trump took office a week ago. So per his sources, the Border Patrol recorded just 582 illegal crossings at the border yesterday, with not a single one of the 9 sectors hitting 200. He says he's never seen anything this low in all of his coverage. He continued the numbers were already flat low in Biden's final week, bouncing between 1,200 to 1,400 illegal crossings daily, but the numbers have been falling off a cliff since Trump took over.
1 week ago, Blake. This has been in 1 week.
Right.
We're like, oh, there's a border crisis. I always said, bullshit, there's a border crisis. There's an Obama doctrine crisis of dumping non-Americans into America. A border crisis of dumping non-Europeans into Europe. His goal, the Soros goal, Puppet Master's goal, is to flood the other countries with people that are not residents from there to permanently, forever, I know that's synonym, to forever change the voting demographics of that place and take it over, conquer it. It ain't happening. And I sure hope Canada figures it out and expels their invaders. I hope Europe does the same. This is nonsense. Not an accident. It's absolutely intentional, Blake.
Right. Yeah, certainly. And this is another one of the parts of that is that there's no longer 1,500 migrants being released at ports of entry via the CBP one cell phone app every single day because Trump immediately terminated that program. So they're just hitting them from all angles.
Blake, I will apologize to the illegals for being naive enough to trust a Democrat. The one thing Americans all know is that you never trust a Democrat. I'm sorry they abused you. I'm sorry the Democrats took advantage of you. I'm sorry the Democrats used you as a political pawn in their twisted, warped game. I'm sorry that you've been trafficked, sexually assaulted, you've been forced into labor camps, you're kind of working as slave labor. I'm sorry that you ever trusted a Democrat. Never trust a Democrat ever again. You can't trust Republicans. You can trust MAGA. It's a big difference. Republicans and Democrats are kind of in the same boat. MAGA is totally different. And that's why it had to defeat the Republican Party on multiple occasions, and it had to defeat the dirty deep state Democrats on multiple occasions. I'm not apologizing for America or what's happening right now. I apologize for the fact that a Democrat lied to you and you believed it. I hope you're a more discerning consumer of information from now on. You can never trust a Democrat, and I hope to destroy and splinter that party into 1,000 pieces, scatter them to the winds, Blake.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, they're going to come here for a better life because they thought they had an easy access, but it's all going to be changed. So,
absolutely. Did you have anything else in your stack that you wanted to get to? And we're at an hour and a quarter, Blake. I got more, but you could we could wrap, or you could bounce, or we could continue. Your call. Your call.
How many more do you have here? I didn't know you were going to do like line by line every single tweet. Maybe
no. I've skipped several. I've skipped several.
Oh, you have? Okay. All right.
I absolutely have.
All right. Well, I can just wrap this up here. We've got, CBP-1 app shutdowns, mass deportations of illegal aliens begins. What else? We have Trump saying he might reassign armed IRS agents to the border.
Yes. Dude,
Right.
I've been calling those guys for a year. They had a screw up with something. They've been trying to fix it for a year. I call them every month or two. I sit on hold for an hour. I talk to somebody. They'd go through the rigmarole. I jump through the hoops. They asked me to pull out years ago. What's this? To confirm that. Are you who we thought we were? What about this? Okay. Well, can you fix it? Well, no, that's not our department. I go, this is the only number you give me. They said, no, I'm going to transfer you somewhere. I go, no, please don't transfer me. All it does, I sit on hold for 30 minutes and then you hang up on me. Please don't do that. I did this yesterday. I had this conversation yesterday with the IRS. She's like, I'm taking on your anxiety. I go, it's because I sell the story. It's because it's what I'm feeling inside of my soul. I hate this. I've done what I'm supposed to do. Help. And they said, all I can do is transfer you. And sure as shit, they transferred me. I waited on hold for 40 minutes and they dropped the call again. Fuck the IRS. Serious. Jason, you're coming in at a moment where I'm getting fired up. Hi, Jason. Thanks for joining us. Is this? Am I prepared for? Oh, yeah. We didn't cover this story. Cute winter boots. Did you get any cute winter boots, Blake?
What? I have no idea. I did not get that reference. So
it's about the Antifa members who are saying cute winter boots, but it's referring to untraceable pew-pews, and they're trying to go on terrorist attacks because they're cute winter boots.
Okay. I didn't know that.
They're meeting up at a farmer's market in Denver or somewhere in Colorado, and cute winter boots. And I don't know if you caught it, but there's
just like Sons of Liberty and Sam Adams. Yeah, just like it. They're great. Their own homegrown domestic terrorists.
And now there's trans serial killers that are going after people. It's just, I pray for the mental health of every American in this country. Like anyone in this country, I pray for them. Please just calm down. Come on back over. Like, you've been lied to. You've been manipulated. You've been brainwashed. I'm sorry. Once again, I will apologize because I'm so sorry you ever believed a Democrat. Any American can tell you never believe a Democrat. That's the very first rule. As sure as death and taxes, you do not
back to when?
believe a Democrat. Huh?
So going back to what year?
Oh, shit. Just keep going.
All right.
Go as far as you can.
All right. Well, okay. So getting back, yes, Trump reassigned. Yeah, we don't forget about the 88,000 armed IRS agents. They were expected. The salaries are supposed to be funded by $72 billion under some legislation. So he said, speaking, that they're hired to bring 88,000 new workers to go after us, and we're in the process of developing a plan to either terminate all of them or maybe we move them to the border. So I think that's pretty awesome.
That is so good. Classic Trump. It was kind of like a throwaway line. He said it just it felt like he was just tossing it out there like a joke, but then people started clapping. He's like, maybe I will do that. And it's like, he always has his finger on the pulse of what the people are asking for. So yeah, I'm here for it. Just like they did to get rid of Jim Acosta. Just keep moving him and moving him and moving him. Like in Office Space where they moved that guy into the basement. I think you have my swing line stapler. He's not even on payroll. Like, his checks aren't clear, and it's just he fired him without telling him. That's like the Jim Acosta story, and that's these IRS agents. Yeah, you work on the border now. By the way, you can't work remote, so I hope you enjoy your 1,500-mile round-trip drive back and forth to the border. Trump is a gangster. That's why we use that image and said Trump is a Don. Trump is governing like a Don, Blake. Like a mafia.
Yeah, he was proudly promoting it. And yeah, he absolutely is. And that was hilarious when he had that incident with the leader of Colombia. So on Sunday, the socialist president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, refused to let the deportation planes departing the U.S. land in his country and return hundreds of Colombian illegals that were rounded up by the administration. So Petro accused Trump of treating Colombian migrants as criminals and announced that he was refusing the entry of American planes carrying Colombian migrants. To the U.S. has established a protocol for the dignified treatment of migrants. And then Trump immediately threatened tariffs and other sanctions. I won't get into all of the details, but he hit them pretty hard. And then I think within like 40 minutes, they changed course completely. Department of State, here's the release. There's Bill Mulligan again. Appears that the Colombian president may now be backing down. Yes, this is the Comunicado Oficial. Gustavo Petro. Yes, I can't read that all in Spanish. But he says that he wants a dignified return of Colombian citizens. And he actually went online and retweeted it.
Whatever you need to tell yourself, pal. Whatever you need to tell yourself. Yeah, bring home the dignified dirtbags. Hashtag dignified dirtbags. Deuces.
Right. But it was funny for like, I don't know, yeah, the 45 minutes, and you had all of the who's who from the leftists outraged. Here's Brian Krasenstein, here's your buddy, says, getting ready for the price of gas and coffee.
Hold on, why is he my buddy? Because we have the same first name.
Right. Well, you want to like get into a cage fight with him or something?
I know we have talked about that. I'm open to whatever.
Well, he's like probably 5'2" and 120 pounds, but yeah. So anyway, I don't know if that would happen. But he's always got terrible hot takes, and he's always there. I think he's just engagement farming at this point. So it didn't feel well. And AOC talking about, we're going to have to pay so much more for coffee because Trump threatened tariffs on Colombia. There's Sissy Harry. Oh, no, Colombia, it's going to make our products more expensive. But then, yeah, you fuck around, find out, and yeah, it was very short-lived. So Trump won that one. Interesting note here. This is the final one I have on this particular subject. Interesting banger here from Mike Cernovich saying if the 2020 election hadn't been stolen, Trump's second term would have been more of the same with no mass deportations. And there was even some talk of an amnesty deal.
What?
Right. All of that was wiped away when they tried killing Trump. Don't cry to me, Colombia, or anyone else. So if Trump had won, how would the immigration policy? It would not be happening like it is now. There would not be this urgency. There would be no Tom Homan. There would be no ICE crackdowns. It would be trying to play nice with the deep state, and not much would have been done. So, but after they tried to shoot him and stole the election, yeah, it's fuck around, find out. So this is a different Trump. And I love that
one meme. The response it was Barron Trump going, "Father, add a smiley face to the FAFO meme." It's just I love the father memes of Barron Trump. It's just so you can hear him saying, "Father, add this thing." Jason was asking, "What's your shirt say?"
Thought criminal. There we go.
Thought criminal. Mine says Cleveland is home. I haven't worn this in a long time. But
Ryan, almost your entire wardrobe has something to do with Cleveland Browns or something.
I'm loyal, dude. That's why I do the Unhappy Hour Sports Show and Strictly Football. I love the Buckeyes had a national championship. That was so cool. The Browns are terrible, but we picked second. We can reverse it. We're going to change our future this year, I tells you. So anyway, back to Trump. What was that one you had from Sir? Oh, that was just Cerno giving you an update.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have this. It's not really in the stack, but yeah, Trump's 300 executive actions made his first week the most consequential in presidential history. I mean, I thought it was an amazing week of everything that happened. I don't know how you could do it any better, but like I said, I was in some big discussion earlier before the show began with a libertarian friend of mine who's just. There's no pleasing these people.
They're insufferable. They're miserable.
He found some way to calculate that there were more deportations under Obama than there was under Trump in this last week. And it's like, Are you kidding me? With all of the things, I mean, all of the different things that I have just outlined, how could you not say that there is major action and you're going to see more of this? And yet he's bitching about it. And it's just like, you got to be kidding me.
Did you see that interview with JD Vance where that Karen is like, when are people going to see price differences on their eggs and bacon? It's been 5 days.
Yeah.
And her face was always, I just watched it on mute and said, yeah. It's been 5 days. When are the people going to see the difference? It's like, bitch, it's been 5 days. Are you kidding me? It took 4 years for shit to get this bad. Give it a second. Some people just can snatch defeat from the jaws of victory in every walk of life, Blake.
I don't get it. It's just wildly unrealistic, and it just some people they just love to complain about shit. Yeah. There's no logic there. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. All right, so 300 executive actions the first week, the most consequential in history or modern history. All right, you had one more about the J6 prisoners in the stack? Yeah, I think that was the last one you had. Maybe I'll give you a second to pull it up. I only have a couple more and then I'm done.
Yeah, I can pull this back up here. It's J6 protester. This was ill-timed. Or you already got it? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
There you go.
J6 protester pardoned by President Trump, gunned down by sheriff's deputy during a traffic stop in Indiana. So, I was just in some flame war on Facebook yesterday talking about, these guys were political prisoners that had no business being there. It was not an insurrection. This whole thing is BS. And then this asshole, I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly all the details yet.
Did we see the video? There should be body cams on everything. What happened? I don't know.
I mean, he could have PTSD from being tortured in prison. I mean, I don't really know all of the details, but it makes it look bad, right? Because, it's like, oh my God, Trump is releasing all of these, these criminals into the country. And it's like, no, they're not. They're peaceful protesters, except for like 6 people that had their sentences commuted. I just assumed that these were, they weren't violent criminals. But then all of a sudden this guy within a week has been shot by the police. So I'm sure there's more to the story. I will try to reserve judgment until I know more, but that's obviously the optics look terrible. The officer responded by firing his weapon and killing Huddle during this pullover scuffle, and of course fatally wounded the suspect. Huddle was one of the 1,500 political prisoners persecuted by Biden for daring to protest the results of the election. And he was arrested in Boise, Idaho on November 28th. 2022 as they hunted people down all over the place. So I don't know. For full transparency, requested the Jasper County Sheriff Patrick Williamson, saying, for full transparency, I requested the Indiana State Police to investigate this officer-involved shooting. The officer that is involved has been placed on paid administrative leave. Standard protocol, policy, blah, blah, blah. Our condolences go out to the family, yada, yada, yada.
Wait, they're giving condolences to hold on, the police.
Our condolences go out to the family of the deceased, as any loss of life is traumatic for those that were close to Mr. Huddle.
I want to see the footage. Why are they instantly apologizing if the guy involved that's dead did something wrong?
Well, he died at the hands of a peace officer. So
peace officer. That's a term.
Anyway, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like some more information on this, but we had one of my thoughts while I was outside of the DC gulag last week in interviewing people. Please check out those videos. Ashley Babbitt's mom and Jeremy Brown's girlfriend and everything. But I had the thought. I was wondering how many people are going to be arrested. Like if we were doing an over/under bet, would you say more or less than 50% of the people who were pardoned on January 6th will be arrested again? More or less than 50% of the people who were pardoned from the J6 will more or less than 50% be arrested or killed again?
I would think statistically it'd be way less. I mean, I've been pulled over. I've had, I've never actually been arrested. So I don't know how many people actually get arrested. Sure, might get a ticket, you might whatever, pay a fine, get a misdemeanor, but how many people actually get like just no, you're being detained, you're going to jail? I don't know. So unless they are going to try to target them because they're J6 people, that would be the only reason I would see it. Unless some of these guys actually have record, but I don't know if many of them did. For the most part, they just unwittingly walked into a restricted area and they were just used as props to fill this ridiculous narrative while they, deleted evidence.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd say way less than 50. It's like 5%.
So you think 5% would be the good,
unless
more or less.
They're actually targeted. I don't know why.
All right, so that's a question of the day.
Brent, have you been arrested?
Okay. I would say this. I would say the question of the day, more or less than 5% of the people. So that would be a question of the day for the viewers. However you're watching, would you guess more or less than 5% of the J6 released people, pardoned people, we'll call them? Do you think they'll be arrested? More than 5%. Blake says roughly 5. More than 5%.
Random. If it was just,
it's going to be how it is.
This person, the reality. J6 person, like I had no idea. Unless they're targeted, I don't see why that would be that high. What is the average percentage of Americans that get arrested?
Look it up while I run through my last couple stories, and we will wrap the show.
I'll ask Grok.
Ask Grok. Keith is saying it's funny how the left didn't start bitching about prices until last week. Yeah, no shit. By the way, my God, my energy bill for the heating bill for last month. Oh my God, was it expensive? So yeah, that's new. These prices have skyrocketed, and we need to reduce energy prices for sure. All right, I have a couple of things left here. This is Steve Hilton posting. Trump is right. There is a giant spigot that can send more water to Southern California. It's the Jones pumping station that they're calling the Trump pump. Right next door is Gavin's pump. He went to take a look.
So you know how all the journalists and the Democrats from President Trump has been talking about the water situation here in California, and he talks about a giant spigot that you can turn to send more water from the north to the south, and they say, what's he talking about? He doesn't understand. There's no giant spigot. Well, there is actually, and I'm standing right in front of it. There it is, over my shoulder. It's called the C.W. Bill Jones Pumping Station, federally owned. Let's give it a simpler name. That is the Trump pump. And when he was president the first time around, President Trump ordered more water to be pumped from this pumping station, which has 6 giant pumps that lift up water from the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta and sends it south in the Delta-Mendota Canal. And President Trump ordered more water to be pumped here and sent south. So just up that road where I was at the Trump pump, you come to this. It's the entrance to the Harvey O. Banks Delta Pumping Plant, which is part of the state water project. You can think of this as Gavin's pump. This sends water into the California aqueduct, which is the state-owned part of the system. And guess what happened the last time when President Trump said more water should be sent in the federal system? California said less water should be sent into the California aqueduct through these pumps here. They retaliated by restricting the amount of water. Unbelievable. Why did they do that? Exactly as President Trump's been saying, to protect fish. Well, let's hope this time they have more common sense. And when President Trump orders more water to be sent through the federal Delta-Mendota Canal, the jokers in charge of California don't send less water through the Gavin pump here at the Banks pumping station. So you know how...
I mean, it's just astonishing. I'm in some flame wars with some people in California. I swear to you, Blake, everything Trump says, they instantly oppose it. They live in California. They claim to be experts, but they literally get every fact wrong. I don't know how these people are created. I swear they're not even real people, except allegedly this person's a friend of a friend. And I'm like, I guess, but my God, you're a sock puppet. You are an NPC. You are the most brain damaged MSNBC viewer I've ever met. So I don't know. Anyway, what did you pull up there?
There's a lot of people like that. I don't get it either, man. There's people with like high IQ people that just blindly believe everything they hear on these propaganda networks. I think they want to believe it, and they're just able to regurgitate the facts of their propaganda outlets. But there's no critical thought there, no discernment. No intuition, no imagination. I don't understand it. But so I asked Grok about what's the average percentage of Americans that will have or will be arrested by police. I know I was supposed to give two different responses. They're both exactly the same.
30%.
It could vary wildly because I'm sure, obviously black people might be arrested more by proportion. But it's saying 30%. It says on study from the RAND Corporation focusing on the likelihood by age 26, found that about 30% of Americans born in the 70s and 80s will be arrested at least once by that age. I mean, there's probably times where maybe I could have if I had been in the wrong place at the wrong time, under a little too much of the booze or something. I probably dodged a few bullets, but I guess maybe it's not. Maybe it's higher than I thought. I didn't think it was that much. People get cited, they get tickets, they get misdemeanors, but I didn't actually know how many people actually get cuffed and put in the back of a squad car and taken to jail. I didn't think it would be anywhere near 50%. But so maybe
50% of the people who were already arrested for January 6th that day. So did they have a proclivity to gravitate toward these things? And of course, many were just caught up and ensnared, and they walked around peacefully. That's ridiculous that they didn't just get a misdemeanor and a little community service and move on. They were tortured, essentially. And a lot of them never even had their charges brought up. They never even had their day in court. That violates our right to a fair and speedy trial. So yeah, it's interesting. And by the way, that's not to even mention the people just in general. They're saying 30%. Yeah, a lot of people get arrested. They don't prosecute. The case goes nowhere. They're found innocent. So there's a number there. It's not that 30% of the arrested people are guilty and go to jail. It's just, that's the initial step in that process. Did you rewrite the question here? Arrest demographics? Well, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about by demographics.
Well, by percentage, of course, it's going to vary by certain race or what have you. But anyway, okay, I'm surprised that it was higher than I thought. I didn't know
maybe
that
more than 5%, maybe.
Cuffed and incarcerated. Okay.
All right. Just a couple quick ones, and we will bounce out of here. Blake, any thoughts on? We've kind of covered this before, but when the CIA said over this weekend that they now believe that the virus, COVID-19, was leaked from a lab, and I don't say leaked, I say it was intentionally released. Prove me wrong. I'm not going to say it was accidental when it could have just as easily and probably more likely been an intentional attack. Are you surprised that the CIA is now saying this was likely a lab leak from Wuhan, from the virology laboratory?
I'm surprised they even said anything at all. Honestly, that's weird. But it should have been pretty obvious from the get-go. And then we saw the videos of Fauci saying that there would be a surprise outbreak at some point. I don't think that was much of a surprise. There would maybe a surprise that video got leaked out. But no, they were doing gain-of-function research there. They didn't want you to know about that. They covered that up, and then they tried to just say it came out of a wet market. So not buying it. Lots to answer to, but he got his big blanket pardon. So hopefully that won't apply.
Yeah, hopefully we can get Fauci for something. Okay, a couple more here. It says, Based Mike Lee is saying, what are letters of marque and reprisal, and how could they be used to weaken the drug cartels? I'm telling you, it's going to get hot on our southern border, and I think it's overdue. Places like Arizona have been run by the cartels for far too long. Too much pain and suffering and misery happening. Said it's long overdue. We need a partnership with our southern neighbor, not an antagonistic, violent, destructive, human rights abusing mess that other weak presidents have tolerated. Enough is enough. This one, Colin Rugg reporting that Bill Gates is being interviewed here. Let's just see what Bill Gates' thoughts on Mr. Billy G. is not my lover. Billy G is not my friend.
Do you think, looking back at that moment, that you were being played?
Epstein.
Well, Jeffrey, in retrospect, I was foolish to spend any time with him, and he sort of, got time with various people by spending time with other people. So yes, I think I was quite stupid. I thought it would help me with global health philanthropy. In fact, it failed to do that, and it was just a huge
global health philanthropy.
Huge mistake.
Has it made you more wary of connections?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No, you're not elected, but I think it's fair to say that you could probably pick up the phone to any world leader out there. Who's the last world leader that you spoke to?
Because of how engaged the foundation is in these global health issues, I talk to world leaders a lot.
Do you
have any thoughts on Bill Gates trying to restore his public image? Do you think all of the information about Epstein is going to come out along with Diddy with this new Trump presidency with Kash Patel? Blake?
I think we can find out something with Diddy. I don't know about the Epstein stuff, man. It just seems like if that does come out, you're going to see a lot of people embroiled, a lot of very, very powerful, household names that are going to get caught up in that. So I don't know. I'm less optimistic about that. I mean, I think it's amazing that Trump is going to declassify, RFK or JFK, MLK. That's huge. That's a win. But then you notice, like, within 30 minutes, all the leftists were like, "Oh, how come they're not doing the Jeffrey Epstein stuff?" I want to see the Jeffrey Epstein stuff too. I'm holding out some hope for that. Everybody should have to pay for something like that. But that has to be looked at. And how many people that are actually compromised in positions of power. So that's going to be a tough one to unravel. They clearly don't want to all those secrets out.
We shall see. And yeah, releasing RFK, MLK, and JFK files. It's like, well, they've investigated themselves, and now that after 70 years, they're going to tell us the truth. It's like, can we really believe what we're going to see? I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
I figured out we're going to end on a high note, on a comedic note. And here we go. So we're bounce through this one, that one, and then the comedy part, and we will end. This is the water's on in California. Trump stating, once again, back to the water issue, the United States military just entered the great state of California, and under the Emergency Powers Act, turned on the water flowing abundantly from the Pacific Northwest and beyond. The days of putting a fake environmental argument over the people are over. Enjoy the water, California. And we posted, it's about damn time. Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom, and the rest of the incompetent money laundering left have mismanaged California for long enough. Capture every drop of that water, build more cisterns, build more water-filled fire breaks in fire departments, and never let this happen again. This one is interesting because they literally did the meme. This is New York saying the cruel kids table. Have you noticed the entire room is white? Almost everyone is white. And look at this. They're cropping out all these black people on this picture here. 1, 2, 3. They are doing the meme of this. Remember this one? They're running, but the foot looks like he's being stabbed. They literally did the meme. And we just said, you don't hate the lying legacy media enough. All right, I lied. I think there are two comedy bits that I'm going to play. Here's one. This is the NFL refs if they were allowed to tell the truth during Chiefs games. Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs.
After further review, it appeared the team playing the Chiefs were about to actually pull this one off. However, due to the influence of billionaire black magic and the omnipotent powers of our dark queen Taylor Swift to dominate not just music, but every facet of American culture, including this game, I've determined that there was a blatant and egregious amount of interference against the Chiefs. If anyone is upset about this call, I recommend you check out some of Taylor's very listenable bangers, which are all available on Spotify and Apple Music. Or maybe work on summoning some dark magic of your own. Or better yet, pray that Swift starts dating a player on your team. Until then, shut the fuck up about bad calls, you insufferable crybabies. The NFL needs massive markets like Kansas City to keep raking in that
massive markets like Kansas City.
Sweet Missouri money. Also, the NFL's research team discovered that about 40% of women in the United States are low-key sexually attracted to Andy Reid. Viewership spikes every time we show his glorious thickness on screen. So the more games he coaches, the thirstier our audience gets. Let's not forget the Mahomes family, who everyone wants to see more of and isn't tired of. Brittany living her best trashy Southern Marie Antoinette fantasy, spraying champagne on her peasant fans. Or Jackson Mahomes, the reigning cringe king, busting out TikTok dances on dead player memorials. The NFL seems hell-bent on forcing this train wreck of a family down our throats until they land a Kardashian-level reality show, and we collectively decide to end it all for the good of humanity.
Blake, wow. Come on. What'd you think of that one?
That was pretty good, man. That was, some fantastic use of AI right there.
Oh, I'm loving it. Yeah, if you want to know who the bad guys are, it's the side who wants you arrested for memes and jokes.
You see this one? That's the Bundlerooski.
what is-
Bundlerooski. Yes.
If I have to hear that one more time, I'm checking out of this planet. God, that's funny. All right, two more. Let's see what scrolling past this. Illegal migrants film themselves hiding from immigration raids. They whisper, "Immigration is here. We're hiding under the house." All right, so go get them. This one here, Blake. I don't know if you saw this. This can't possibly be true. 80 temporary homes have just been sitting behind a guarded fence meant for Western North Carolina hurricane victims, but FEMA only gave 2 out in Avery County. And there are still videos of Americans crying while freezing in tents right now. I mean, it feels so intentional, dude.
Oh, yeah.
A government that hates you. Also, here, a government that hates you, Tyson, for people saying that illegal immigration doesn't cost Americans jobs. That's a lie. Here's a reminder of when Tyson Foods closed down its factory and fired 1,200 Americans so they could give those jobs to asylum seekers. So, yeah, it's
out of the White House.
Now, this is Tyler Fisher. I will end the show on this one. This is kind of incredible. This is Tyler Fisher doing a voiceover of what it's like, what President Trump would be saying during all of the executive orders. Holy shit. Enjoy. Play. Here we go. Volume up. Good.
Okay, sir, this one says, now that the retards are out of the White House, everyone can say retard again, with pride.
Why don't we get that down so they can get them going right now?
This one says white people are now allowed to say the N-word once a month, just to really get one out of the chamber. And it must be whispered with a black friend nearby.
That's a big one. We're opening up N-word.
This is a good one, sir.
I think they got that joke. He says, we're opening up Anwar. But he said, we're opening up Anwar. Kind of sounds like we're opening up N-word. Okay, so that's where that joke came from. He continues.
Basically says if men have to put their height on the dating apps, women should have to put their weight. That's for quote-unquote equality. She wants to know if he can reach the top of the fridge. He should want to know if she's going to clean out the fridge. It's called the Rosie O'Donnell Fat Pig Act.
That's a big one.
Okay, this one says the LGBTQIA plus 2- umlaut community is now just going to be called the everything but straight people list. It's really just a time saver.
Well, we're going to try and get it done as quickly as possible.
China will now be called China America.
Well, if China didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China.
When we take over Greenland, it will now be called Red, White, and Blue Land.
Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security.
This one says if you see a man wearing a COVID mask outside, you can have sex with his girlfriend because Lord knows him is not pleasing her any longer.
People have wanted to do this for years. What's this one?
This says we are bringing back the real gun emoji, getting rid of that weak Democrat woke water pistol bullshit.
What we have to do. What's right?
Oh, this one's interesting, sir. It says all the fat, bald feminists with 40 cats who hate men, they will now be put in the front lines during any war. They don't have family or kids, just cats, as I said, so let's put them to work.
And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough.
If somebody says you have to respect my pronouns, you are allowed to fart in their mouth, sir.
Stranger things have happened. The wind brings it down a lot.
This one says if a woman divorces you and takes half your stuff, she's required to have sex with you half the time. Fair is fair, sir.
If we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half? Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, guys. All right.
I just saw that the worst thing about like the stock market crashing is that you lose half your money, but you still have to be married.
Oh, man. That is unreal. I think Tyler Fisher is just a gem. He is a national treasure. Protect him at all costs. All right, Blake, that's all I had in the chamber. Did you have anything left in the chamber, sir?
No, I think we covered everything.
This was very rapid pace. Did you feel a difference? Did you?
No, I didn't.
More joy?
Pace. We're almost 2 hours into it. It was all right. It was
I gave you the off ramp at about an hour. I was like, definitely like, all right, if you're ready to go, you can go.
All right. Well, yeah, we're still trying to figure out the perfect format, the most efficient and productive infotaining show. We'll see. But yeah, it was pretty good, Brian. Yeah.
This was pretty rapid. I tried to keep it moving fast. It's a little disjointed, but so is life. All right, Blake, tell everybody about all of the stuff that you want them to know about. What are you doing? You're launching your new show. You're doing a show tonight. You'll probably be back on Thursday. Tell everybody about Blake Walley and what they need to know, sir, on the way out.
Well, I mean, looks like we're still kind of carrying the same schedule. We might be changing a few things. I'm not sure yet. We're still talking about doing shows, different times, different formats, perhaps. Or we're going to continue this. I'd like to start doing some solo content as well. I might start going Wednesday, maybe Friday. We'll call it the Eccentric Perspective. I don't know. So I'm thinking about, probably doing one tomorrow.
Good. And you did episode 1 last Wednesday, right?
No, I did it on Tuesday because you were in D.C. So I figured I'd just use that time to, because technically the New American Media and the Agree to Disagree show are technically yours. So I don't want to call that my show while you're, out in D.C. freezing your ass off. So I do some solo content, and I did hundreds of shows years ago. Kind of been on hiatus for 10 years. I've been doing other stuff, but now that I have good internet again,
that's a game changer.
Video and all that stuff. So,
and by the way, Blake, you remember that I was one of these regulars on the Eccentric Perspective. I was the one typing I would be working. I'd be making sales calls. I was working in an office, and I had the show on. I had Eccentric Perspective on, and I was trying to add commentary, jokes, and interesting points, and answering your rhetorical questions. I liked the Eccentric Perspective. I do want to get that show back. I want to listen to it. I like it. I'm a fan.
Thank you. I will look forward to having anyone that wants to join in. So maybe I'll just do it directly the same time, but it'll be Wednesday and then maybe Friday. Or I might do a week. I might bring back Woke World Weekend wrap up, but I'm not sure yet. So, but things are going to be changing. I'm going to mix things up this year.
And there may be a TNAM PM show. TNAM PM show instead of a TNAM AM show. There might be TNAM PM. If I could envision a universe where my schedule will change and these midday things aren't going to work as great. So a TNAM PM could happen. But Frankie, she's been joining the morning show. That's awesome. Appreciate that. And I've done 30 episodes, and I feel like in 5 days, I'm just doing shows nonstop. I don't know. I'm just kind of giving it everything I got right now. One last hurrah.
Just throw a bunch of stuff and see what happens. Throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks, see what you like.
And I hope to put up my interview with Stuart Rhodes. I don't know. It was such an exhausting week, and I got home and I just have life to deal with here and get unpacked and get sorted out. But Stuart Rhodes from the Oath Keepers. I had a chance to talk with him. He has been a guest on my show in the past, and talked with him outside of the DC Gulag. So maybe I'll post that one pretty quick today. So check that out. But Blake, you have that's the Eccentric Perspective, and tell everybody about the show you're doing this evening, sir.
This is a regular show we've been doing for probably at least a year, but I've been working with Mike Barra on a once-a-week show for a long time, but he stopped doing the weekend shows because he moved to Vegas and he wants to keep his Friday and Saturday night open, which is understandable. So now we call it Toxically Masculine Tuesday. There's
look at these pits, dude. Look at these pits.
Oh, are you wearing the same shirt that you did on the morning show?
No, I took a shower, but when I take a shower, I get hot. I run real hot. I take hot showers and I run hot. Jeez, I didn't know it was that bad, but well, is what it is. I put deodorant on. I don't care. Fresh out of the shower. Look, I didn't even out of the shower. So I'm getting back in my workout routine in the morning. So I had to do my show and then jump in the shower and then do this. But look at that. I need to get a deodorant sponsor. Well, I mean, it smells coconut fresh, but sitting here under the lights, I guess it adds up.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for making me do that, Blake. It's not embarrassing at all.
Working up a sweat. All right.
I'm a sweater. I've always been a sweater. I'm like the Weezer song. It's the Brian song. Do you want to destroy my sweater? I sweat. I don't know. What can I say?
All right. Well,
but you'll be on your show with Mike Barra, Toxically Masculine Tuesday. When you say that, you do the the pit stain show. And that's at 9 o'clock tonight.
Oh, yeah, a little one.
Okay, you got a little. I mean, because we're sitting here for a while, it accumulates a little.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess so.
So 9 o'clock, where do they find the show, sir?
You probably find it just on Twitter X. Find it on my feed, Mike Barra's feed, Rumble, YouTube. Yeah, a few of the places, different destinations. So yeah, check it out.
Good
Thank
shit.
you.
Thank you to Frankie and Keith and Jason and everybody over and Trance and all these new people that jumped in that I'm unfamiliar with. Thank you for joining the show today. We appreciate you so much. All right, Blake, we will talk with you later. Enjoy the rest of your evening, sir. I'll do the outro without you, so you can save those 3 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna cut it under 2 hours. Very nice. All right.
All right. To be continued, Blake.
Sounds good. Take care.
All right. There he goes, everybody. TV's Blake Walley. Follow him on X. He's at TV's Blake Walley. And if you like independent journalism, you can assist Mr. Walley. He is at... There you go. Make sure you check out his archive, thenextlevelnews.com. He's on X at TV's Blake Walley. And if you like independent journalism, you can go on Venmo. He's at Blake-Walley, BLAKE-WALLEY. He's on Cash App at $BlakeW99. Independent journalists love when you buy them a cup of coffee or 50 cups of coffee. It all adds up because, man, it takes a lot of hours to unpack the most important stories going on and provide in-depth analysis. And it takes a little while. And the more that we receive from you, the more that we can do. Yes, we did go to January. We went to January 6th 4 years ago. But we went to Washington, D.C. for the inauguration. I have a lot of stuff to upload. Maybe tomorrow could be a good day for more of that. Maybe a little right after the show. Keep your eyes peeled for the interview with Stuart Rhodes. We talked with Ashley Babbitt's mother. We spoke with Jeremy Brown's girlfriend, as he called her to say, I know you thought I was getting out, but they have now put me in cuffs and let me back into my cell and said that I'm not going to be getting out today. That was just wild that I was interviewing her at the exact moment that happened. And his case is a very unique case in that regard. So check those interviews out. You can find all of those on our channels. So go to Rumble. We are the New American Media over there. We are the New American Media on YouTube. Hit like, hit subscribe, please. Join us there. We're on X at American_media_. We are on Facebook. There's the Agree to Disagree Show podcast on Spotify. Subscribe to that. Yeah, Facebook is the New American Media page. Instagram, the New American Media page. Facebook, TNAM's The Agree to Disagree Show group. That's a great daily group. On Truth Social, we're the New American Media. On Telegram and Signal, we're TNAM and TNAM Chat. And of course, if you would like to get us a cup of coffee and help with the expenses of, going to Milwaukee and Chicago and DC and the Bronx and back to DC, you can do so by going to patreon.com/the New American Media. And we did just cash out for the first time. That's pretty neat. And we transferred some funds over. Thank you to everybody who's supported independent journalism. It all matters. But yeah, you can sign up for $5 a month or $50 a month or $1,000 a month or $10,000 a month, whatever you have the resources for. It's all super appreciated. If you're on Venmo and want to toss a little over, it's at Brian Engelman, BrianEngelman. That's ELMAN, ENGELMAN. And we're on PayPal at Fuzz Installment, FUZZINSTALLMENT. Those are the places you can assist the New American Media. All right. Ooh, this was a round robin show. This was fast. I had a blast. But now it's time to go, because sadly this cannot last. On behalf of Blake Walley and everybody out there in the TNAM universe, I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.